This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. Do you still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty Podcast, the only Patriots podcast that is actually doing things backwards and rewatching old games instead of talking about the new stuff. Although we might do some of that tonight too. We are working our way through 2005 season. We know it doesn't end well, but we thought we'd figure out if there's anything worth watching. Spoiler, week 9, not worth watching. The Patriots are visited by the undefeated Colts on the season. They're 7-0. I believe this was a Monday night game. It was in prime time on ESPN with, our boy John Madden. Spoiler alert, didn't go well. With me to talk about this game, though, is Tim the intern, Tim Turn, back from his hiatus. Tim, how you doing, bud?
Doing good.
All right. And also we have my brother, who formerly known as Steve Brown, but tonight for some reason is named Stevie Slickback.
You guys ready to see this? I'm about to turn on my video.
He has not turned on his video yet since we've joined this meeting. I don't know if I'm ready, but I don't know if I have a choice, so let's do it. Oh, dear me.
Hold on. I got to blow this up a little bit.
Oh, dear me. Steve, what are you doing?
Stevie Slickbacks, baby.
But why?
This isn't Slickback. This is pushback.
This is... That forehead is Manning-esque.
It's a 5 head.
It's a 6 head.
I like it. I like it.
That's
so
an
Steve,
HGH head, bud.
Did you used to be a piece of shit?
I used to be a piece of shit. I went into work like this today.
Why?
Really?
Rocking this Slickback all day. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Love that.
Yeah. And they're majority Korean there. And they're all like, what are you doing?
I don't think it's because they're Korean, Steve.
No. Yeah, probably. Well, I got a wedding. I got a black tie wedding this weekend. So I figured, test out the slick, see how it holds up, over the course of a day before I bust it out in prime time.
Oh, is this kind of like the way you didn't wear your dress pants for a full day and then split the seam of the butt dancing at somebody's wedding?
Oh, no. That was just, too much dance moves. Split right down the ass seam. Yeah. Right. Luckily, I was wearing underwear because, could have been even worse.
Or unluckily, depending on who you are.
No, I think luckily.
Yeah, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, no.
I don't know. I mean, the only lucky part is if I really had to poop or something, and then I could have just, skipped the whole taking off the pants part.
I suppose technically you can do that anyway, couldn't you?
So look at this thing though. It's like a little helmet.
Yeah, so it's been like that all day. Did you gel it?
Oh, yeah. I never gel my hair, and I put a ton of shit. I've actually been doing it all week. I've been experimenting with new hairstyles. See which one will work the best, building up to the slickbacks.
So how old are you, Steve?
36.
Yeah, all right. So right in time for your midlife crisis, apparently. This is Steve's
fucking
midlife
great,
crisis.
Andy. I get the power alleys like nobody's business. Look at these things. They just keep going.
You definitely look like
a middle-aged divorcee. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
professional
my
bowler.
forehead goes like above my ear. It's not too far. You go right up straight north from the ear, boom, forehead.
Yep.
5 head, 6 head, whatever.
We're on our way towards 7. Like it actually looks like a 7 on the side of your head.
Yeah, the other part is if you wiggle your eyebrows with such a massive forehead and slick back hair, it looks ridiculous. Yeah, you can do that big eyes. Whoa. Yeah.
That is terrifying.
I'm so upset that Greg isn't here.
Yeah.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, that's he is missing quite a
for a fucking steak. For one steak.
It's gonna be a real hit at the wedding. But Lauren's not going though. I don't get it.
I couldn't imagine why she wouldn't want to be seen in public with you.
Dude, with the tux, it's gonna look great.
Are you bringing Gus?
No. Not to a black tie wedding. That's not really a Gus scene.
No? I don't know. I think your dog would be fine. seems racist, but I can't quite figure out how.
She's a chocolate lab. She's brown. She can't go to a black tie wedding, Andy. Come on.
Sure she can. Just put a black tie on her.
No.
Yeah.
If she was a black lab, now we're talking.
Well, you probably should have got a black lab then.
No, chocolates are the best.
I don't know. This feels wrong somehow. All of it.
We're gonna need one of those. Yeah.
Speaking of five heads, let's talk about these Indianapolis Colts, shall we, Steve?
Yeah, if only I had a big old red mark right in the middle of this thing.
I mean, you could. I bet Lauren has something that she could make a little red mark for you there.
There's some blush up on there.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
I could probably be Peyton Manning for Halloween.
Steve,
Not a bad idea.
You could be Peyton Manning's fill-in on his whatever his show is that he does. That's actually surprisingly accurate. Yeah.
Throw a little blush on my 5 head. Boom, done.
Yeah, call it a day. And then you and Greg could pretend to be Eli Manning, and you two could just talk about.
Yeah, I need someone for Eli. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about football. You can just shit on him the entire game. It'd be great. I'd pay to watch that.
Greg, so, yeah,
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'd pay to watch that. Be perfect. Yeah. So, 2005 Peyton Manning, peak of his Manningness, if you will. He's already been beaten twice in the playoffs, one and dones. The past 2 years at the hands of the Patriots. This year he would do it again. Spoiler alert. But this time at the hands of Ben Roethlisberger. And I don't know if you boys remember this playoff game. We might get to it like later on in the season. But this was the game where Jerome Bettis was trying to run it in from the 1 and he fumbled it. And the Colts picked it up and started returning it and like basically had an open path, but Roethlisberger made a shoestring tackle at like the 40-yard line to stop it from being an easy touchdown. And then Vanderjagt missed like a 40-something yard field goal, like for the first time all season when they were down 3 and lost that way as a heavy favorite to the Steelers, who they had already beaten once that season pretty handily. So just
like the Colts.
Just perfect. Yeah. But this Colts was like an absolute wagon in the regular season. They went 14-2, first in the AFC South, and set an NFL record by winning 12 games in which they never trailed at any point in the contest in this season, which fucking just like got out to a lead and just didn't relinquish it pretty much every game. They're also the first team to start the season with 13 straight wins and then lose an opening playoff game. So that's fun. And they're also the first team to start the season with 13 straight wins and not win the Super Bowl. So if you win the first 13 games of your season, chances are you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Unless you're the Colts.
Right.
Or the 07 Patriots.
Yep.
What do you mean? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. And we're not going to cover that in this podcast anyway, so we're going to finish 1 week before that. This was just a kind of your very typical Colts dominating the regular season and flaming out again.
Were the Colts at home in this game?
No, this game was in New England. The second game back for Teddy Bruschi. Talked last episode with our Bills fan friend, who apparently everybody in Buffalo hated that game because it was it was a game the Patriots should not have won at all and won it anyway. Like the Bills basically stomped them but couldn't score. And so I think they were like outgaining them like 10-1 or something in the end of the first half, or only winning 3-0, and the Patriots like somehow found a way to win. And it was the return of Teddy Bruschi on Sunday Night Football or something, or Monday Night Football. And that's all the commentators talked about.
Oh, yeah.
So to everybody in Buffalo, it's the Teddy Bruschi game. That's what they refer to it as. Because almost like the Bills weren't even playing. It's hysterical.
Just the foil.
Yeah, exactly. But this was the kind of second primetime game in a row. Bruschi back, but that's about it. Give me the
score, because we never say that on this podcast, and clearly I didn't watch this game. I don't even know if they're playing at home.
The score was a very lopsided 40-21 in favor of Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, it's probably like 40-7 at one point too.
It was not. The Patriots kind of hung in there up until like just other side of the halftime. So it was 14-7 right up to the end of the half, and the Colts scored with a touchdown with 9 seconds left to make it 21-7. Patriots went 3 and out after the half, and then the Colts went down and scored another touchdown. It was 28-7, and it was never really close from there. Every time the Pats would score to get closer, the Colts would score again.
Yeah. Lots of work done to Asante Samuel.
I have some notes on Asante Samuel, and none of them are good.
I saw a whole section out for him.
Yeah, so let's get into it because he's been in the news lately. Our boy Asante.
Uh-huh.
He's been talking about
he needs a nickname, you know?
He does need a nickname.
Even when he was playing, he didn't have a nickname.
That's
himself something.
What?
He returned so many like touchdowns or something like that. I think he has a name for himself.
He does strike me as the type of guy who would give himself a nickname. Something to do with pick six or something, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jumpman does have him. Let's look it up on.
Well, we can come up with one. Is something with salty in it or something, you know?
Salty caramel.
You could call him Butterfingers.
No, because that's just bringing up painful memories. I want to give almost something about it now, you know?
Hey, it's all
butt
good.
hurt, you know, he's clearly...
Salted butter?
How's that any close to Asante Samuel?
Who cares?
See, this is where we need Greg. This is where Greg shines.
Yeah, Greg does shine right here.
He does. All right.
He's really screwing us over.
Steve, text him.
Listen, no, we needed that, and he would have loved this.
Yeah, he can eat dinner on the pod. He's done it 1,000 times before.
Yeah. He does it every time. I don't know why tonight's different. Just because his family, his in-laws are there. Steve.
Yeah.
If anything, they can watch the baby.
Right, exactly. His Twitter is pick622. So
yeah,
I don't remember him having an abnormal amount of pick sixes though.
He was kind of feast or famine.
He had a few.
Yeah, he does have a few, but none in this game.
Salty Samuel.
A salty Samuel. That's not bad.
A salty Samuel. I like it.
He is very salty.
Yeah,
he's super salty.
Yeah, he basically from the get go, the Colts got the ball first, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, and drove immediately down the field because the first pass of the game was a 48-yard pass over Asante Samuel. So that's how the game started.
Who was he matched up with?
Didn't matter.
Harrison.
I believe both wide receivers in this game for the Colts went over 100 yards. Let's see. Marvin Harrison, 9 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Reggie Wayne, 9 catches, 124 yards, and 1 touchdown.
That's pretty elite.
Yeah, that was it.
They got 4. They got assaulted, dude. It was painful to watch. I put it on last week with my dad, and my dad was like, he was pissed. He's like, why are you doing this to me?
This is the first game I've turned off after the last Colts touchdown. I just I don't need to watch any more of this. This is stupid. What am I doing?
You missed it then.
What did you say, Steve?
Are these the first minutes of the Patriots dynasty you have not watched?
No, I think there was one game after Kieran was born that you guys did that I didn't watch the game.
Oh,
yes. Highlights. Me and Greg did a role reversal. Yeah.
I don't remember what game it was, but I remember giving you a bunch of shit about it.
Yep. It's Kansas City, something or other. Well, I remember.
In 2002, maybe?
Something like that, yeah. What were you saying, Tim? What did I miss?
So did you see at the end when you remember a couple games ago, they were talking about Brady and he was like the weirdest thing that a fan ever asked me for? It was like one of those kind of cuts. Did you see this one with Peyton?
No.
He said the weirdest thing that a fan's ever asked him to do was autograph his name into their back hair.
What?
Yeah, I really wish that you'd saw it and clipped it because the whole thing was ridiculous. It was nuts.
I am confused by how with a razor.
Yeah,
right.
The guy wanted it. Like it showed the graphic of a man with a hairy back, and then like it didn't say whether because Al Michaels and John Madden are going back and forth, and they're like, he's like, I want to know if he did actually do it, and then he had a couple of what was it? They said like, what's his favorite impression, and he was like Elvis Presley, and then did an Elvis Presley impression, and it was terrible. I was like, this is why I hated Peyton back then. Like, I like him now, I respect him, but I was like, holy shit, is this painful? Yeah, dude, I was like, yeah, this is exactly why I hated you.
See, this is what happens when I turn off a football game.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the best
I was hoping that you fought through it.
Like that autograph's gonna last for like a couple of days if you're a hairy back guy.
Not if you keep up with it. Although, how are you going to keep up? You're going to have somebody else.
Yeah, someone else needs to keep up with it.
That's true.
Line me up.
Hey, hon, can you trim my Peyton autograph again?
I can't lose this. I gotta find a way to make money off of this.
But the internet thinks I'm cool.
Well, you could get like a laser hair removal just in that spot too, right? Now that he's done it.
Well, at that point, just do it. Just go to laser hair removal and say, make Peyton Manning signature on my back.
Right. That's basically
you
what
don't even need his signature. You don't even need his permission. You can find that on the internet.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That was like out of all the lowlights that were this game, that was like the highlight, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But
so we know what Tim's best is. Peyton Manning, impersonation. It's his best and his worst.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. This is I remember this game in the moment. Like this is like one of the only games from 2005 I remember.
Yeah, because it's so painful.
Because I remember after the second drive, going in, I'm like, maybe they have a chance, because that's how I always am. And then after the second drive, the Colts scored back-to-back touchdowns. I'm like, oh fuck no, because the Patriots scored a touchdown on their first drive, but then they punted, they went 3 and out, and the Colts immediately scored another touchdown. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And the touchdowns that the Colts scored, like I remember, it's either like the second or third touchdown, like it was kind of sketchy whether they had scored. And I remember watching that as a kid and being like, there's no way he got it. No way. And I'm like, I was just being such a homer back then. And I'm like, for sure. I just didn't want to see them lose. Yeah.
I think it was the Reggie Wayne one, where it looked like he was bobbling and going out of bounds. Yeah. Right at the end of the half. Yep. Yeah. And it didn't matter. Because actually, you could go the other way too with the Troy Brown touchdown catch. Looked on replay that it could have been overturned. Because, in typical Patriots fashion, Brady did come out with like a couple of, hey, I'm going to take this game back over drives. But they were just down so much it didn't matter. And the Patriots, this was one of those games where they tried a bunch of things that often work, and Belichick gets lauded for, or Brady gets lauded for, whatever. But they were just out. There was no way that the Patriots could have won this game, no matter how the ball bounced, I don't think. But they did try a surprise onside kick after scoring one of their touchdowns to make it. What was it?
Did they
make it 28-14 when it was still like relatively close? They tried an surprise onside kick, see if they get the ball back, because the defense was gassed at this point. This was like in the third quarter, and the defense had been out there for so long.
But they did get it back, Steve. Yeah, but then they turned it over on downs. They went for it on fourth down, and just nothing was working.
And ran the exact same fourth down play.
Clear symbols from Belichick that our defense can't stop shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise onside kick, going for it on fourth down in the third quarter. He knew. Yeah. That was part of the game right there. You score there is 21-28. Maybe get the defense.
You got momentum. Defense gets some rest. But I mean, this defense, there's not anything I think you can do with it. Who was it? Who do they have? Dwayne Starks got benched in this game. So they moved Randall Gay from safety to cornerback, and they brought in some guy named Mike Stone at safety.
He was laying some dudes out. Like, he's a hard hitter. I do remember that a few times. I was like, this dude is looking to take someone's head off.
Yeah.
Not too often I hear people's names. I have no fucking clue who they are.
Right.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's same. Like I've usually, if you tell me a name, like I recognize the name at least.
I think he only played this season.
Yeah, he apparently played in 13 games, but started 3 of them. I'm guessing next week is one of them. Did all right. This is the best year he's ever had. 40 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. And that is
Get him on the pod.
That's his stat line.
I think I've looked for him. I can't find him.
And those 40 tackles are more than he has in the rest of his career combined in the 3 years before with Arizona.
If anybody is willing to come on this pod and talk about 2005 Patriots games, Mike Stone.
Michael Stone, thank you very much. Pretty high draft pick. Drafted in by the Cardinals in the 2nd round, 54th.
Yeah, that is high.
Didn't do much, I don't think.
Played some dudes out apparently.
Yeah, made 1 tackle his rookie year, 7 tackles, and then 14 before coming to the Pats and making 40 tackles. But if you have somebody like Mike Stone making 40 tackles, like, what do you do as what do you do as a defensive coordinator? Like, you just don't have the guys, and you could see that with the Colts. Like, they were just able to do whatever the fuck they wanted. It was tough.
Definitely a week where you could definitely have used a Rodney Harrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, even I think this is Will Fork's 2nd year in the league, and he was out there a ton. So you're just seeing like a bunch of young guys because Richard Seymour is injured right now too. So the defensive line not getting a lot of pressure, huh?
Isn't this year 2 for Asante as well?
I believe so.
No, I think this is year 3. I'm pretty sure he was there in 2003 too.
No excuses.
Correct. Yeah. This is his 3rd year.
I mean, for Asante?
Yeah.
Salty Samuel.
We nailed it. A Salty Samuel. That's it. We gotta start. If we want this nickname to stick, we gotta really commit.
How about a Saute Samuel? Because he's been getting cooked.
He has been getting cooked.
So, yeah, but he's not getting now. But now he used to be a Saute Samuel. Now he's a Salte Samuel.
That's fair. The Salt Bay Samuel.
Or a Salty Samuel. Salty.
Yeah. So after giving him all those props, he's actually only scored 6 pick sixes in his career. I say only. That's a decent amount, but it's not like far and away outstanding. I mean, how many
didn't Jack Jones have 2 last year?
Yeah,
or 3.
How many did Teddy Bruschi have in comparison? Let's see.
Got like 6
interceptions, 4. Apparently.
The one I just remember is that one where he's like dragging his legs against the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, that's the one everyone remembers.
Belichick hates that.
But yeah, so Asante Samuel so far in his career has 2 picks in his rookie year, 1 in 2004 and 3 in 2005 before going off in 2006 for 10. And then plays 1 more year in the Pats, 6 interceptions, and then goes to Philly for a bunch of years. That's decent numbers.
Longer with the Pats or Philly?
Let's see.
I feel like no one remembers him at Philly.
5 years with the Pats, 4 years Philly, 1 year in Atlanta at the end of his career, where he starts 10 games in Atlanta and has 1 interception. Nice.
He's no Patrick Chung. That's for damn sure.
That is for damn sure. Yeah. So, he's always arguing about how he, turnovers are the name of the game. So, if you give up touchdowns, but you get a bunch of interceptions, that kind of balances it out.
No shit, Belichick hated him.
Yeah, it doesn't work in this game. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. So yeah, he was beat clean on that first play, and then was beat on the jump ball for the touchdown to end that drive. And then drops an interception in the end zone that was overthrown by Manning, which then the drive results in a touchdown. And then the last touchdown the Colts score to put this game away and score 40 points on the Patriots at home for only the 6th time in the 20 years of the Pats. He gets just straight up cooked on a double move by, I believe it was Harrison. where I don't know what he's looking at or what he's biting on, because there's like a slant and go, and Asante just completely commits to the slant. And by the time Harrison catches, he's got like 5 yards of space. Like, it's just not even close. It's embarrassing.
Almost, it's kind of similar to that Brian Finneran.
Yeah, and I believe we talked about how whatever the game was after Atlanta, Panthers maybe, where
Panthers was week 2.
Yeah, where they were talking about they had like plays that they put in for the Patriots, called Atlanta because they saw that in Asante and how jumpy he was on things, and they're just like, just double move the guy all day, and they did, and he got torn up again. So that's the defense. And then on offense, you have no running backs. The running back you have is like 3/4 of Corey Dillon, who starts the game even though he's got a bad ankle still. Started off okay. He made some plays in the running and passing game. But the only other running back on this team that isn't injured is Mike Cloud, who they signed off the street. So it's your boy, Steve Brown.
Dude, Mike Cloud. Love that guy.
Same.
Not so much in 2005, I don't think, though.
I love transcends years, Andy.
He had 1 carry for -5 yards in this game, Steve. So
1 carry, good. That's it. I mean, what do you want from the guy?
And they were getting blown out.
Average 0 yards. Positive yards would be nice.
1 carry. Come on. That's 1 carry for -5 yards is not the running back's fault. That's a blown blocking assignment. You get the handoff and immediately get tackled.
So he plays in 6 games this year. Steve, how many yards do you think total he has rushing?
42.
I thought you were a fan. He has 59
I am a fan.
yards. He has 59 yards. He averages almost 10 yards a game.
Dave, only got 10 more.
That's pretty close.
Steve. So there's no running game. The wide receivers are not beat up, but just not. It's not the same because you're also missing your left tackle, right? Who are they starting at left tackle in this game? Somebody not rookie left tackle. Who was it? Come on, give me a start. Left tackle was Nick Kazor.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was a guard.
Not in this game. He's in for Matt Light because Matt Light got hurt, and he's going up against the likes of the Dwight Freeney and who's the other guy on the other end? Raheem Brock. Is this a Mathis game? Maybe it is.
I think they talked about him.
Yeah, I think you're right. It just has Raheem Brock as the starter, but yeah, no, I think you're right that Mathis is also in here too. Because let's see, Mathis had a forced fumble, a tackle for a loss, and 5 totals on a sack. Raheem Brock has a sack. Dwight Freeney was actually kept in check for the most part.
They were chipping him a lot. It seemed like.
Yeah, there was a lot of notice paid to him, which I think gave the other 2 guys on the other side, Mathis and Brock, a bit more breathing room, and they made it tough for Tom Brady, who still actually Brady did all right in this game, all things considered.
What was the stat line?
Let's see, 25 of 40, 285, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
25 of 40 is a lot of dropbacks.
I mean,
they kind of run the ball.
Yeah, they ran it 14 times for 34 yards, and they're also down big pretty early. Yeah. So there's I think end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, when they came out in no huddle, like hurry up, just like already. I think that might have been in the third quarter.
Did you see the last touchdown that the Colts scored?
Yeah.
They went for 2.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Did they get it?
No. But it's there's 5 minutes. There's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, dude. Yeah. There's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Steve. Come on now.
Nope, you can't be mad at that. Patriots 2007 were absolutely pouring.
The Redskins game, that was overkill for sure. But
I was there.
Well, let's think about this. Let's think about it. It's 40-21. So how does that math work? You're up 19. So you're up 3 scores. If you go for 1 or 2, you still have 3 scores. So it doesn't really make any sense unless you're going up 21 and you think the Patriots score 3 touchdowns in 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Look, Belichick wasn't mad about it.
No, that's true.
Do we know
if
that?
you don't want them to get it, stop them, which they did.
Which they did. And then it didn't matter.
Boom, done.
Yep.
Okay, Steve. Okay, look back.
Same thing with like bat flipping in the MLB. Shut the fuck up. If you don't want to flip a bat, don't give up a home run.
That's fair.
There's too much pearl clutching. Same with golf. Golf is the worst.
Golf is the worst for pearl clutching. For
so much pearl clutching.
It's so bad.
Did you have you ever seen this video, Andy? You would actually love this video of Justin Thomas calling his ball a faggot.
No.
Oh yeah, hot mic caught with a hot mic on like a golf course.
Oops.
Yelling at his golf ball, calling it a faggot. It's just like, oh jeez.
Andy, I think that's a good transition for the Tony Dungy thing you got down here.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah. Speaking of homophobia,
I'm intrigued. I'm wiggling the eyebrows.
Yeah. Speaking of homophobia, let's touch on the head coach Tony Dungy. This is going to be the deep dive I wanted Greg to do, but since he's not here, I'll kind of touch on some of the stuff.
Will you say I don't think Justin Thomas is a homophobia. I don't think he thinks his ball loves other male balls. He's just, misused a word there. But go on.
Yeah. Good job
sure.
clearing the record, Steve.
I know literally nothing about the situation, so I'm not going to add anything. So let's talk about Tony Dungy. He was an NFL player before a coach. He is, in fact, the most recent NFL player to intercept a pass and throw an interception in the same game. Good for him. Apparently, he was the emergency quarterback for the Steelers in 1977 against the Oilers when both Terry Bradshaw and Mike Krzyzewski went down with injuries. So he was third string quarterback, which, that tracks, with the self-importance. Let's see. He this year, 2005, in December, he was notified that his eldest son, James Dungy, was found unresponsive in his apartment in Lutz, Florida by James' girlfriend. Turns out that James Dungy had committed suicide by hanging. He hung himself. Hanged himself from a bedroom ceiling fan with a leather belt. I looked for stories and stuff about this, and there's nothing. There's no explanation of what was going on beforehand, and anything that you would find is oh no, he seemed fine. The person who ran the gas station across the street was no, he talked to me yesterday. He was in a great mood, and all this stuff. So there's really just nobody can come up with a reason as to why that happened.
Are you implying this is an Epstein sort of thing?
No, I have no idea. I was just hoping that I could figure out some, I don't know, information about why this happened. Was there something going on at home?
Wait, what year was it?
2005, December 2005.
Yeah, you think the media would be covering that a little bit?
Yeah, well, they covered it initially, but I couldn't find anything after the initial hey, this happened. This is what they found. Tony, and then how it affects Tony Dungy as a coach. He took the next game off to mourn the loss of his son, and the assistant coach that you may know, Jim Caldwell, took over for Dungy in Week 16. Against the
Seahawks for the Lions.
Yeah, in which the Colts lost that game. But he did return for the next game, which the Colts won 17-13 over the Cardinals. And then the Colts dedicated the last 2 games of the season to James Dungy when Tony Dungy returned to the sideline. Let's see. The only thing that I could find was 2 months before his death, James Dungy had also been treated for a prescription drug overdose on October 21st, 2005. So there's, some stuff. But more recently, Tony Dungy's been in the news because he's very outspoken about his Christianity, but not in a, hey, let's be nice to everybody sort of Christianity. This is the kind of, hey, let's hate people and blame my Christianity for it. Him and, of all people, James Brown, the NBC analyst, I think, or CBS, longtime guy. The two of them are big fans of some huge anti-gay evangelists in the United States. what's his name? Andrew Womack, apparently, who was equated being gay to murder, among many other statements. And these two, Tony Dungy and James Brown, both like to speak at his things that he does. So
things that he does. What does that even mean, Andy? Things they like to speak at the things he does, like speaker events or conferences.
That's what
gay bashing.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Seems about right.
Let's see. Womack's anti-gay stance is not subtle. In 2021, he declared that being gay is so detrimental to people's lives, quote, "We ought to put a label across their forehead. This could be hazardous to your health." He added that homosexuality is worse for someone's health than smoking cigarettes.
Oh my God.
Honestly, that's not false, especially if you live in like Africa where it's punishable by death.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's what he's saying.
I don't think that they say that one cigarette takes 11 minutes off your life. I don't think you just like being gay will take 11 minutes off your life. Just being gay. But
maybe in the 80s.
Who knows?
Both Brown and Dungy have praised Womack. Dungy has said, "I enjoy ministering with Andrew," with Brown calling him a leader. Womack has called Brown his good friend, and Brown has publicly appeared with Womack beyond this annual event. And also, Dungy has said other things like on his own as opposed to just this. He said, "I remember Michael Sam, the first like openly gay player was in the draft. He said he wouldn't want gay player Michael Sam on his team because he wouldn't want the media circus that would come along with it." Like, all right, bro, you coach Peyton Manning and Mike Van Camp for that matter.
Yeah, but he never coached Tim Tebow. That was as media circus as he ever gets.
What was that thing that he said about Michael Vick? It's like if he had just spent like 5 minutes with me in a boat or something like that, he never would have killed all those dogs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Because he said he wouldn't want gay player Michael Sam on his team despite advocating for federally convicted dog murder. Michael Vick. Let's see. What did it say?
I don't remember this. So he was saying if only he had been able to talk to Mike Vick, he would have steered him away from all his childhood friends who were dogfighting.
This is what he said. And the other thing I asked him was where the Lord was in all this. We talked about him growing up and having that side, that Christian background, but really getting to the NFL and feeling like he was his own guy. Somewhere in the course of all this, he realized that he had left that spiritual side. No, that's not it. What the hell is it?
Either way, Tony Dungy, spiritual healer. Got it.
Yeah. Guy saved lives.
Yeah.
Except his sons.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, also Tony Dungy said he would welcome Ray Rice on his team.
But not that media circus that would accompany that. Yeah. That makes sense. But the real question is,
if you would welcome Ray Rice.
Tim Tebow? Because Tim Tebow comes with like a 50-person media entourage everywhere he goes.
100% want him on there.
He would be all about that. So
Yeah, so basically the idea was Dungy said he didn't want Michael Sam on his team because his excuse was it was all about the media distraction that followed Sam, blaming Oprah Winfrey's docu-series that was following Michael Sam. This, of course, was just a couple years after supporting Michael Vick's return to the NFL after he was being followed for a docu-series.
Man of the year, Tony Dungy.
Yeah, Tony Dungy.
Was he like the Walter Payton Man of the Year at all? No,
I think only players won that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's definitely been kind of whitewashed. Like since now that he's like a commentator and stuff. Like
he's not white.
Like, Tony Dungy, nice guy.
He does have like a nice demeanor about him, but clearly he's one of those that'll like smile in your face and behind your back.
For sure.
Hey, for gay, for sure.
Do you think Peyton Manning has any stories about him?
Oh yeah.
Think so?
For sure.
I bet he does.
That's the nice part about Belichick, though. Like, I feel like Belichick kind of is himself. There's no like different Bill Belichick.
Well, that's what you hear from all the players. It's like he's basically who you see. He's just funnier.
Right.
Yeah. And he's a player's coach. Just nobody believes that. So
I don't know if I believe it either.
I do. I can see him being
I'm
funny. Yeah.
Andy, you didn't need to tell me that. I mean,
absolutely positive that Belichick is hilarious.
Yeah, I bet he is.
Said that. He was just saying how funny he is. Like,
but it's one of those like dry sense of humor, though. That you got to
right.
get.
Oh yeah.
He might be a little British in him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it feels like. That British sense of humor. Absurd stuff said was just like a straight face. You're like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah, I do just want to make a point. If we can, I do want to go over your guys' fantasy standings at some point.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested in an update on that, actually. Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else worth talking about in this game. Oh, there's one thing. Couple of things. Sorry. Okay. The one thing that I caught from this game was how there was questions about who was calling the offensive plays in this game this whole season, because the Patriots have not, and Bill Belichick has not named an offensive coordinator. Right now, they just have Josh McDaniels in that role, but he doesn't have the official title, which sounds very familiar to the last couple of seasons, where Boston sports media is losing their fucking minds about it. I will say it works out from here on out, because this season really doesn't fall apart because of the offense. It's the fact that they just don't have a defensive secondary other than just like street free agents at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't last year either. 404 was just everybody.
That's true. Yeah. They just had really bad luck. And I feel like that when the injury bug bites them, it's usually there. It feels like. Is that there? And like the offensive line. Those are the two places where when the Patriots struggle in a year, those are the two spots that just get hammered. And that's why they struggle. Like even what was the year where Manning and the Broncos beat the Patriots in the playoffs? What year was that? Like 2013, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, where they lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, where everybody kind of fell apart at the end there. Like that whole team got ravaged by injuries.
Yeah, we're throwing a Matthew Slater in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, and they still were like in it, but
yeah,
they were not in this game. I did want to say that the one other piece of news that was from the NFL, but not this game, was Terrell Owens had just gotten suspended from the Eagles. Yeah. And I don't remember this. Like, I kind of like vaguely remember him like holding the press conference in his driveway and stuff. And I think that was part of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doing sit-ups.
But I didn't remember like where that came from. And I believe it was because basically the Patriots ruined this Eagles team and poisoned Terrell Owens so badly against the team that he's imploding it from the inside out. Because apparently this started where in that, like after that Super Bowl, where bad blood between Owens and McNabb began after Owens went down with a severely sprained ankle and broken leg in Week 15 against Dallas that year. Owens was upset that McNabb and the other players said the Eagles could reach Super Bowl without him, which they did. And of course, he played in the Super Bowl, even though he shouldn't have, because he came back like 6 weeks from a broken ankle and still put up
monster game.
Yeah,
gaudy numbers.
Yeah,
he would have been MVP if they won
against Asante.
But soon after Philadelphia lost to the Patriots in that game, Owens took his first shot at McNabb, suggesting the 5-time Pro Bowl quarterback was tired in the fourth quarter of the loss. Which, tired? Is he calling fat? Is that what he's saying? McNabb apparently responded harshly, and the two didn't speak for a prolonged period in training camp. They eventually reconciled their relationship and performed well together on the field. Owens had 47 catches for 763 yards and 6 touchdowns this season. However, Owens continued to throw verbal jabs at McNabb during his weekly radio show or whenever he granted interviews. So all this came to a head, apparently, this week of this game. Owens was suspended Saturday, 2 days after he said Eagles showed a, quote, lack of class for not publicly recognizing his 100th career touchdown catch in a game on October 23rd. In the same interview with ESPN.com on Thursday, Owens said the Eagles would be better off with Green Bay's Brett Favre at quarterback instead of Donovan McNabb. Owens was also involved in a fight last week with former Eagles defensive end Hugh Douglas, who remains with the team as its ambassador. Owens apologized for the comments about the organization in a brief statement on Friday, but he did not apologize to McNabb or the team. So they have suspended him They suspended for like 4 games, I think, whatever they could. What was it? They basically suspended him for like a couple games and then told him not to come back for the rest. Like deactivated him, so they still have to pay him after the suspension, but they're just like, we're going to pay you to sit at home.
And that's one of Greg's wide receivers.
Oh yeah, that's Greg's boy right there. Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, but hit us with an update on the fantasy rank because I'm very interested in this.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't get to touch on it the week that. So we started in week 6. Week 7, we had Andy finishing with 71 points, Greg finishing with 88 points, and Steve, you finished with 75.8. Week 8. That eyebrow thing's freaking me out. Andy, you finished with 129.7 points. You had a big week. Big Ben had 19. LaDainian had 12. Steve Smith had 37 points, and Antonio Gates had 42.5 points.
Oh wow!
These are your heavy hitters. Greg finished with 53 that week as he had Peyton out, Sean Alexander out, and Reggie Wayne out, and Vanderjerk out.
Whoops.
And then Steve did even worse. Steve had 37.5 as Michael Vick didn't play, Marvin Harrison didn't play, Dallas Clark didn't play. And then week 9, so that's where we're at right now. Andy finished with 92.8 as he got 42.3 points out of LT. 21 out of Steve Smith, 21 out of Antonio Gates. You had 3 players that didn't play. You had Big Ben out, the Broncos not playing, and Jason Elam not playing. Greg finished with 118. He got 34 out of Peyton, 29 out of Sean Alexander, 27 out of Reggie Wayne. And Stevie finished with 89. You had 21 out of Vic, 33 out of Marvin Harrison. So right now, the standings go, Andy, you are in first place right now, 347.4 points.
Wow.
Greg's got 346.2.
Oh.
And Steve, you're at 278.6.
Oh, what? That's...
Man, I was worried there for the first couple.
The problem is
they're coming back.
I think Priest. This is when Priest Holmes went down with an injury. That's why I was asking if you guys wanted to have an injury replacement. You guys said no, so not looking so great right now. But.
Steve,
that's right. I'm looking great, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's true. You are slicked back right now, so that's definitely the score of a guy with slicked back hair.
Lighted right now, it looks like I'm just got that male pattern baldness going on.
It looks like you're purposely trying to cut your hair like that.
Yeah. If I just tilt my head back a little bit, it looks like I'm fucking bald.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. Have you ever shaved it all off?
No, I would be a very, very ugly bald man.
Why do you say that?
I mean, I'm a very ugly, hairy man, so not much would change, but...
I feel like you should go with the Friar Tuck. That actually would probably suit you.
What is the Friar Tuck?
Where you just kind of shave the top but leave the ring of hair on the sides.
No, I can't do that, Andy. Where the fuck would I do that? I don't...
You just leave it here. It's just like a strip right here, and then it goes down the back.
I have that right now. That's the male pattern baldness.
You just gotta get rid of that. You don't, because it's you're half committed.
Yeah, you got to get the top gone.
Yeah, you got to get the Larry David.
You can't even see the top.
You know, a little swirl at the back of your head. That's where your forehead has to start.
That's what it looks like right now.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It looks great, but it's not what it is.
You should rock that.
No, I'm not gonna shave. I'm not going to shave in male pattern baldness. No.
Wuss.
You do it.
My worst.
This guy who's had a fucking goatee for fucking 40 years.
My worst is Steve Brown not committing to the bit.
What do you mean? Oh, we're slicked back here to work today.
Yeah, that's no half beard. That's no half beard.
Yeah,
so wait, did we figure out what the punishment was? I know that Andy's was shave the goatee, but do we have something for you guys? I don't know if we ever came to a conclusion on that.
I don't know that we did.
We did not.
Well, we now have one for Steve. He's got to do the Friar Tuck.
No, I ain't doing no Friar Tuck. I'm a big swinging dick in the golf industry now. I can't do that.
God
I don't know.
damn.
You're not that big a swinging dick.
You have to go into the office, Steve?
Yeah, all the time, 4 days a week.
So
That
dumb.
sucks.
All right. Well, I don't think there's one for Greg either.
No.
The only one
we
is
gotta
just
get Greg on here before we can talk.
That's probably true.
I
Yeah.
also think we should.
Well, how about this? If you have any ideas, you can text the Dynasty Hotline with ideas for punishments for Steve and Greg, or me as well, if you want. If you have something more creative than shaving my beard. The number is 603-505-8043. Right, Steve Brown?
Yeah, I totally forgot it, but there you go.
How do you remember? 603-505-SOS. Troy Brown, the 3. Or Troy Brown, Vinatieri, Goskowski, if that's how you want to do it. I realized that the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. That's literally how I remember all the numbers in my life, is by jersey numbers of people.
That is interesting.
It's
That's a little insight into Andy's mind that I don't care to peel back.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, let's not go there.
I'm going to leave that as it is.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a Band-Aid on that.
No worse. Go on.
Yeah,
my best is this dope slick back haircut. It's not even a haircut. I just slicked it back.
Yeah, no, we know. We've heard ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
And your worst?
Can't do it every day because then people think I'm weird.
That's your worst?
That's why they think you're weird? Are we talking about people who haven't met you before?
I probably could. I could rock this every day.
I mean, I think it would fit. It fits your personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then no one's gonna fuck with me because I could headbutt them the next Tuesday. You know.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You headbutt that first person, that sends a message, man. Because anybody who's crazy enough to headbutt is fucking not somebody you want to fuck with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Do you have any real best and worst? Relevant best and worst?
It's Peyton Manning's Elvis impression. Both.
Yeah. So that was my worst, but my best is probably getting to see Doug Flutie come in at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Came in for the last drive.
I love Doug Flutie sighting.
Yeah. And he was getting fired up too, which is pretty funny. He was he was talking shit to the ref, and then you could see McDaniel's kind of dude, what are you doing at the end? Which I thought was all right, still taking it serious in a blowout. I love that.
That tracks. Yeah. I gotta say, is there anybody more kind of universally beloved in the NFL than Doug Flutie? Anybody on that level, right now, maybe?
In the league right now?
Yeah, or just even just generally.
You're right. Fucking everybody loves Doug Flutie.
Everybody loves Doug Flutie. Nobody's yo, Doug Flutie, that guy's an asshole, or that guy sucks. Nobody's like that. Bills fans love him. Patriots fans love him.
Yeah, he played for a lot of teams too.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was I watched his football life. Insane. He was so nasty in Canada. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was so good. He was the Tom Brady of Canadian football, basically, wasn't he? Yeah, just absolutely
so good.
And he was great at BC. Had that Hail Mary touchdown. Yeah, he's just fairy tale.
Who is the most beloved player? Matthew Slater might be up there.
I don't think people know him well enough.
Yeah,
to be
I don't think there's a guy that has his
that's
kind
just general football fan.
I feel within the players, maybe not the fans, but
possibly. But I think that just the fact that Doug Flutie was a 5'8" football player who was a scrambling quarterback and just running for his life all the time and still being successful at it. I don't know that you're gonna
Steve look at himself on the camera. So funny.
I don't even know why he showed up.
I should have because honestly, if I had to have my hair slicked back, I probably wouldn't have been on this podcast. I couldn't deprive you guys of this.
I do appreciate it, dude. It is very creepy when you get put up on the Zoom and I can only see you and you're doing that eyebrow thing. It's
weird. I've got the.
Or if I just cut the camera off so you can only see the 5 head.
Oh God, I've got the gallery mode. We'll have to
I'm gonna send a picture of what I think Steve looks like, an actor that he looks like, and I think you guys are gonna like it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Shit.
Shouldn't it be the people from Mars Attacks, that movie?
No. That is a good one.
Bad. That's not bad.
You do look like you're starting to become part of the Coneheads, though.
Yeah, a little. That's what I was thinking. Conehead-ish.
It has you can see my forehead has ridges in it. Like right here.
It's a good. It's a solid forehead, dude. People don't talk about that enough.
They don't, do they? All right. While you're looking for that, let me do some best and worst. All right. Let's see. My best is. Oh, I had some football, not football. Before we do that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was from the intro to the game. They had Dennis Quaid on doing some. Did you watch this, Tim? The absolute. It was an insane rant about this game.
Oh, actually, I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
It was about Peyton Manning getting over the hump,
and
I lost count of how many times he actually said the word hump in his intro. But the two quotes that I came off with was, "That hump will ride you until you're done." Like Dennis Quaid with like Steve Brown's crazy eyes, and then later on he said, "Humps, they aren't easy." No, they are not. Humps are hard. Oh, all right. I'd say he's a less good-looking version of whoever this person is.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He usually plays a bad guy. But
what's his name?
It is Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare. Okay.
Yeah, he was in Fargo and he was in Prison Break. That's what I know.
Prison Break. Yeah. He looks familiar.
Yeah, my only thing is I have these power alleys here. It goes back.
Okay, but that's an older picture of him. Or if we go back 20 years.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you got a dominant line right there, Steve.
Steve, let it go. Let's see. My best is it's not going to be turning the game off. Although that was good. A great decision by me. But apparently it wasn't. My best is the fact that this season the Colts played 5 preseason games. Because their first game was the American Bowl that was played in Tokyo, Japan, which apparently was a thing that happened from 86 to 2005, where I think they were trying to grow the league in other countries and stuff. But then
weird. I did not remember that.
I know nobody does. I don't.
But I think Goodell took over. Hall of Fame game though?
Huh?
Do they still have the Hall of Fame game?
I'm not sure. We'd have to stat check that. But it ended in 2005. So this was the last year of it because I think it just didn't get enough. It wasn't worth it enough. And I believe Goodell took over in 2006 and just scrappy, no, I'm not doing this. But the Colts played in 5 preseason games and lost every single one of them, including their last one at the Bengals, where they lost 38-0.
Wow. Yeah, they did have the Hall of Fame game.
So they still have the
weird. I never even knew that they did that.
Yeah, the American Bowl. Look it up.
So that was your best
in Japan.
Winless in the preseason, Andy? Come on.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And also the fact that they were the first team to lose the opening playoff game after winning 13 starting the season, 13 straight. Let's see what else we got. My worst is Tony Dungy being a person. Because fuck that guy. Oh, here's another good worst. I pulled out some quotes when we were starting this season about Teddy Bruschi, because this is the time he came back. And in true Boston sports fashion, this is from the Dynasty by Jeff Benedict. In true Boston sports fashion, quote: newspaper columnists opined that Bruschi was being selfish and having a hard time walking away from fame. Boston's leading sports radio talk show host called the situation life-threatening. And ESPN's Tom Jackson wondered aloud how people would react if, quote, we're watching some Sunday afternoon and something happens to Teddy Bruschi on the field. You tell me how the league and the Patriots are going to feel the moment that happens.
Foreshadowing.
Right.
20 years later.
Yeah, a lot of people coming out here talking about, Teddy Bruschi being selfish for coming back and playing football, even though behind the scenes he's being told, yeah, no, nothing could possibly happen on a football field that would make this happen again. This is just a hole in your heart that's now been fixed.
I know you think I can't read, but that was a good book.
It was a good book. Yeah. Highly recommend it. Also, after Brewski's first game back, apparently from the same book, in the locker room afterward, Belichick did something out of character. He said, I'm going to break this one down. He said, let's go, everybody up. And so the players huddled around him the way they normally would around Brewski after a game. And he said, I want to know how we feel about having Teddy Brewski back, Belichick said. And you know the response. Oh, yeah. And then Belichick threw his arm around Brewski. So tell me he's not a player's coach, Steve. Tell me.
I'm not saying this.
Steve.
I am pro Belichick. Come on,
Channel your inner Greg.
Greg isn't here. Just because Greg isn't here doesn't mean I'm fucking.
Channel your inner Greg and tell me.
Well, I don't think he's a player's coach. So
Salty Samuel doesn't think he's a player's coach.
That's true.
That's also true.
That's because he didn't ask. I want to know how we feel about having Asante Samuel back.
It's because Salty Samuel gambled too much on defense. That's not how fucking Belichick plays defense.
That's right. You don't gamble. You make him earn every yard.
And he was breaking us, especially this year.
Yeah.
He's given up a lot. I think we'll have to total it up at the end of this season and see how many touchdowns he let up compared to.
Yeah. What does he have? More pick sixes gambling or more long touchdowns?
Define long for touchdowns, and I'll tell you. I can already, I think, picture 3 jump ball touchdowns, which aren't long touchdowns, but they're just like, I feel like ones he should break up. Like, that's pretty easy to, like, not lose your man and cover, you know? No? Yeah, the last one was a 30-yard touchdown pass. Does that count, Steve?
I don't know.
The first one was a jump ball, but from the 1-yard line, but it was set up by a 48-yard gain over him. Does that count?
Sure. Why not?
All right, we're going to count him.
Fuck us, Salty.
Fuck us, Salty.
So, yeah. My worst is Jim Caldwell's stare. How about that?
Dude,
great, Andy.
At least mine was about the game, Steve, and not my fucking haircut.
Well, I didn't watch the game, Andy's, and neither did you all the way through.
I watched more of it than you did.
I'm here watching the games.
That's right. Yeah, somebody's got to. And it sure as hell ain't gonna be Steve or Greg.
Fuck no.
I almost I went back. I had to finish it out. Not happy about it though.
No. All right, what do we have next week?
Steve,
who's playing next week?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah, shocking. Patriots are headed to Miami to play the Dolphins. Coached by
Dave Wannstedt.
No.
I got it. Nick Saban.
Yes.
No.
Belichick disciple, Nick Saban. The college Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, dipping his toes into the NFL. In a place where the Patriots don't ever win. So we'll have to see how that goes. Because right now the Patriots have alternated wins and losses the entire season. So we'll see if that happens again next week on the Patriots Dynasty Podcast.
Tune in next week to see how much of a blubbering little bitch Greg is on the Patriots Dynasty Podcast.
See you later.
Yeah.